I asked him specifically on 4 subsequent occasions, of those 5 to 10 companies currently under review for fraudulent billing, have any of those cases been referred to the RCMP? Wouldn't give me an answer.
Michael Duham, Commissioner, thank you for agreeing to appear today. And Mark Flynn, Deputy Commissioner, thank you as well, sir, for agreeing to appear today. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. We're going to begin our first round. Each of the first 4 members will have 6 minutes each. Mr. Brock, you're leading us off. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, witnesses, for your attendance. Commissioner, you referenced in your opening statement multiple investigations into these matters. Is this in reference to the ArriveCAN issue?
There are multiple, correct, Mr. Chair, there are multiple investigations going on.
How many in total, officer?
I'd have to refer to Mr. Flynn and see if we'd have an exact number, but numerous.
Can I get an exact number?
So with respect to this type of activity, there's a broad number of investigations specific to ArriveCAN. There is one investigation specific to ArriveCAN.
So one general investigation and offshoots from that investigation?
Not offshoots, but if you look at the ArriveCAN as well as other similar types of situations, there are many is the category I would put in. I won't give us an exact number.
Many. So more than 6?
I'll say yes.
Yes.
So that would be as precise as I can get to.
And is this in reference to contractors and subcontractors, or does it involve federal bureaucrats, and or does it involve government officials?
Specifically, I'm speaking to procurement irregularity investigations.
Okay. Again, the question put to you, is this exclusive to contractors and subcontractors, or does it involve government officials?
It involves the entirety of what needs to be looked at with respect to procurement contracts.
And I take from that the entirety could include contractors, subcontractors, the federal bureaucracy that dealt with those contractors, as well as the deputy ministers overseeing that department, and ultimately the ministers of the Crown who have ultimate responsibility. It's a catchment of individuals that potentially you're going to be looking at. Is that correct, sir?
I will not speak to any information with respect to the targets or subjects of the investigation. I will simply speak to the substance of it to give you as much information as I can today to be helpful.
Thank you, sir. I'm moving on to GC Strategies. On the eve of his call to the bar in the House of Commons, Christian Firth, one of the 2 owners of GC Strategies, by his definition, GC standing for Government of Canada, had his home raided. I understand this was a offshoot or a part of the RCMP detachment. It was the Sensitive and International Investigation Unit that was responsible for the execution of the warrant. How many officers were involved?
We never speak to the number of officers involved in our policing operations. We did, in that instance, take the unusual step of confirming that we did execute a search warrant.
Who was home at the time?
I do not have that information.
Can you provide that to us?
I would not provide that. Again, that would speak to details of the operation and personal information.
And what was searched?
I will not be speaking to that either. That's an active investigation. That's
Christian Firth confirmed what was searched. He actually reviewed the 6-page search warrant. And just for the education of the Canadian public who are watching this, anyone has the ability to apply for a release of that search warrant, and information to obtain. In essence, someone can apply to a court, get a court order, and actually review the content of that 6-page search warrant. You agree with me, sir?
If the warrant is not sealed, that is correct.
Right. Was this warrant sealed?
I do not have that information.
Can you provide that to us?
We can determine that, yes.
Okay. So Christian Firth confirmed to the House of Commons that basically his electronic devices were seized. And I know you can't confirm nor deny that, but he supplied that as information. Has that furthered your investigation into criminal activity involving Christian Firth?
The The RCMP is exploring and reviewing all of the information as we do in any investigation that comes into our possession with respect to investigative materials.
And the potential criminal charges as outlined in that search warrant included what?
Again, I don't have that specific information.
Are you free to give us that information?
Once I determine whether or not the warrant was sealed and the contents of
Okay.
it.
Well,
we
I'll
will provide that
I'll
as
cut to
part
the
of that.
chase. According to Christian Firth, who skimmed the 6-page report, it was in relation to fraudulent billing and forgery with respect to resumes. Would that seem accurate?
Again, I won't be confirming any information contained in the document that I've not
Okay.
read.
Mr. Firth had a partner. His name was Darren Anthony. Was his home raided as well?
I will not be commenting on that. Again, that would be confirming elements of investigation that, to my knowledge,
Would he
has-
be part of the broader search of individuals who are part and parcel of your investigation with respect to Arrive Can?
Again, I will not be confirming targets of investigation that are not already publicly known.
Has Mr. Firth been cooperative with the police?
Again, we're speaking to details of the investigation that I will.
Has
not
Mr.
be-
Firth been arrested?
Mr. Chair, I'd love to keep answering these questions, but again, I hate to repeat myself. And
Has Mr. Firth been charged with a criminal offense, yes or no?
I'm not speaking to any of the details of our current investigation, but if a charge had been laid, that would have been made public.
Okay. The allegations that founded,
Afraid.
Thank
Coming
you.
back to you. Actually, I'll come back to you because I know you're.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Ms. Khalid, you have the floor for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today. I'll start by perhaps just saying what's on the mind, I think, of a lot of people. It's becoming increasingly disturbing watching individuals question the operational independence of law enforcement in this country. Just earlier today in Ethics Committee, the Conservative MP for Brantford Brant, Mr. Larry Brock, outright questioned the independence of the RCMP by claiming that because the Commissioner of the RCMP is appointed by the Governor in Council and that they report to the Minister of Public Safety, that the RCMP has a political agenda when they act in their role. So I really do want to know your reaction as to with that type of insinuation that the RCMP is not in fact operationally independent and is instead being governed by political interests.
So, Mr. Chair, I can confirm that the RCMP is, the operational independence exists. As I mentioned earlier, the only time I've had a chance to sit down with the Prime Minister or our Minister or other ministers was to brief on key operational files for situational awareness only. Never once have we been subject to interference or suggestions or pressure to do something, and I can confirm that for 37 years of my career, from the last 6-7 years dealing at this level, I've never been asked to do anything, and I'm sure Mr. Flynn could probably add to that.
I would agree, and from an RCMP perspective, we take great pride in that, and you'll hear it in my voice whenever I've been questioned with respect to direction in the past. It is part of our training, it is part of our DNA. We have that all the way from our early careers, whether we're involving municipal council, provincial members of parliament at the provincial level or the federal. We work very independently and without influence.
Thank you for that. Now, I personally am very concerned with this type of rhetoric because I believe that it erodes and corrodes trust in our democratic institutions and in the operational independence of the RCMP. So I'm just wondering if you can perhaps help us understand how disinformation, especially coming from people that are supposed to be credible, that have a large following perhaps, how does that impact our public institutions and the work that you do, especially in open investigations?
So I have to be cautious, again, with respect to misinformation. I always like to remain neutral in all of these appearances. and to provide the information that we can without impacting what our mandate is. So I take great pride in my work. I'm here as an official to help with the committees, and we like to focus our attention to providing assistance to committees. And that's where I'd like to keep my testimony today.
I appreciate that, and I understand the sensitivity of an open investigation, and that's why I'm so concerned about the level of disinformation that is being spread, and quite frankly, questioning the RCMP's independence in this matter. So I guess my natural next step question is, if the Conservatives don't like the outcome of your investigation, will they malign your organization? Have you started thinking about what those next steps are going to be?
Mr. Chair, as I mentioned earlier, our objective is at the conclusion of these investigations is share with the general public as to our findings, so that we're open and transparent, which builds trust with the population. I can't comment on any comments that would be made with regards to the RCMP. So.
Maybe we can talk in a hypothetical situation rather than talking specifically with respect to an open investigation, to ask, how do you deal with disinformation, misinformation being spread about your organization, and what steps do you take to ensure that your perceived independence as well as your actual independence is well known to the Canadian public?
So we often face challenges with our ability to share information about what is happening in our investigations for many of the reasons we spoke today. And then even post-arrest and when we start criminal proceedings, there are challenges. So the RCMP has a transparency website. You will see that we as officials are regularly engaging with media and with the public. You will see a lot of our members out with the public at significant events. And I'll remind everybody that this is a weekend that is on June 23rd. We will be dealing with a tragic anniversary of one of the most significant terrorism attacks against Canada. You will see RCMP members out at those events, again, talking to people, sharing information that we can. When it comes to an arrest and charges being laid, then we fall into another category where our ability to speak publicly is limited because of procedural elements in the criminal code that speak to how processes are run and the rights of accused to give full answer and defense, and that information that might impact those proceedings that is released by officials, police included, could impact that fairness and then could actually impact the likelihood that that trial will proceed against the individual. So we're constantly battling between a desire to be transparent, a desire to share with the public, and competing interests of privacy and rights of the individuals and the rights to Canadians.
Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Turning down to Mr. Brock, you have the floor for 5 minutes.
A point of order before you start my time. A number of members, including myself, have asked for information from both of these witnesses. These witnesses from time to time have agreed to supply us with information. Is it your intention to inform them as to what our usual return time is for the delivery? At the very end?
Yes, I'll do it, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, gentlemen, a different topic. March the 20th, Minister for Public Services and Procurement Canada, Duclos, and President of the Treasury Board, Anand, addressed the Government Operations Committee, revealing that through a combination of tips and advanced data analytics, they had uncovered 3 subcontractors engaged in fraudulent billing across 36 government departments, amounting to nearly $5 million. They confirmed at committee, as they did at a national press conference, that all 3 subcontractors had been referred to the RCMP. The department officials then testified approximately 2 months thereafter, initially refused to provide the names of those subcontractors to committee. Only after we brought to their attention that parliamentary rules trump privacy, they actually revealed the identity of 3 individuals, not corporations, but individuals. Have those individuals, are they currently being investigated, or has the investigation been complete and charges laid?
So I am very much aware of the situation that you're describing, and I will go back to my previous statements that I will not be speaking to or confirming any active investigations into these specific incidents.
Is this an active investigation?
As I said, I will not be confirming that.
You won't confirm nor deny?
I will not confirm nor deny, but I go back to my earlier statements that the RCMP is involved in a broad number of investigations regarding procurement irregularities.
Okay. During that same period, both ministers outlined that this discovery, which traced back to almost 6 years, was merely the tip of the iceberg, suggesting a potential series of revelations to follow. The minister noted that 5 to 10, this was Duclos, 5 to 10 additional cases were currently under scrutiny. Subsequently, the Department of Public Services and Procurement Canada describes this as a first wave. They disclosed that another 5 to 10 cases were under examination. So, when Minister Duclos appeared at committee not too long ago, this was probably 2.5 months removed from his announcement of a potential second wave. I asked him specifically on 4 subsequent occasions, of those 5 to 10 companies currently under review for fraudulent billing, have any of those cases been referred to the RCMP? Wouldn't give me an answer. So, let's talk to the source. Has Minister Duclos or a member of his department, or Minister Anand or a member of her department, referred additional cases to the RCMP? I'm not asking you to opine on the nature of the investigation. I'm asking for a confirmation. Has a referral been made?
As I stated earlier, there are numerous investigations.
That's not good enough. Canadians need to know. There's no transparency or accountability with this Liberal government. I'm not asking you to jeopardize the nature of the investigation. I'm asking you to confirm. Has the Government of Canada made additional referrals? Yes or no?
You're asking me to answer a question in a manner that I cannot provide you the precision in which you're asking it. There are many ways that investigations come to us. I know that we are currently investigating several matters, as I stated
But why is
earlier.
it that you had no problem confirming that when the Auditor General referred a matter to you, you were investigating, but you can't confirm whether a minister or his department or her department made a referral? You can't opine on that. You see the disconnect there,
Actually,
Deputy?
Mr. Chair, I can give very accurate precision as to why that. I sat in a meeting personally with the Auditor General and the Commissioner where we had a discussion about the Auditor General referring information to us and offering her support in pursuit of a criminal investigation. What you're asking me for now, I have not personally been involved in those circumstances. I can say that organizationally there are circumstances that have led to us conducting numerous investigations into procurement irregularities. If I had had the opportunity to complete my answer in the question earlier as I attempted, I would have explained to you that I was lacking that precision because of a lack of my personal involvement or review of the information.
Can you confirm to committee that either of those two ministers or members of their respective departments have made additional referrals with respect to fraudulent procurement billing? Can you confirm? Yes or no?
I do not have that information with me.
I understand, but will you supply that to the committee within so many days?
I can undertake to review the files and determine if we have that information.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you so much.
Very
So, gang, we're going to wrap it up right there. I'm Aaron, Canadian Looney, showing Canadians what it is I'm learning about Canadian federal politics. I wasn't always an expert. Maybe I'm still not, but we're working on it and showing Canadians what it is I'm learning. I came into this like I thought as a Liberal. No more, baby. Let's vote for the Conservatives. We need a change. That's it. Aaron, Canadian Looney, thank you very much for watching. Check out some of the other videos. That's it. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.
The one we call